Could you imagine if there was actually a queen in fucking Canada?
Dude, what part of Canada would she live in?
The best kind, like Montreal, where all the hookers and weed are.
Okay, before we get into our stories, which you haven't heard anything about.
Oh man, you guys are in for a treat.
Let's do some testing. First, I want to play some sound to see if that also comes through. So let me know if you can hear the sound.
Damn.
Yeah.
Thick.
I wasn't gonna freestyle.
What else we got? Where's that Boston?
It's in the kitchen.
Boston in the kitchen. Boston.
So I'll do a quick rant. You guys missed all of our stories, so Furman's going to start out with a story. But it's crime season, guys. We're discussing what we've done in the name of criminal activities.
Oh, well, actually, can we go ahead and do our intro again? Did you guys hear our intro? Or were we just dancing?
We were just, yeah, they didn't hear shit.
Oh, okay. Then let me go ahead and lay it down then.
Kind of like the Peter Parker scene, like turn the music off whenever he's walking through the streets. So goofy.
So, no, I want to do a quick complaint. Okay, fuck Microsoft and fuck Windows. Okay, they did some update to the fucking Windows, and that's what fucked this audio. It fucked it to high hell. But here's the thing that Windows has done. Okay, it used to be the case... I want to turn my volume up and down when I'm listening to YouTube or whatever on my computer. I can just turn it up and down. Good. No annoying sound. Now, any single change gives a little computer ding, ding. So like, oh, up my volume one, ding. Like you're on YouTube? Scroll your volume up, ding, ding, ding. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
That serves no purpose. I can't think of a single purpose.
Think of all the blind people it's helping. That one guy on a computer.
Yeah. Now, for all those viewing, they're not even going to know the links I went to secure our music. Well,
devastating.
It's for another time.
The stories behind that, the tragedies that befell,
had to be there.
The sacrifices that were made.
So here's what we're doing. We're talking about basically the most desperate lengths we've ever gone to get something we wanted. Me and Isaac have already volunteered our stories into the void, so you guys will never get to hear those. And now it is Furman's turn.
All right, kids, gather around the campfire. So, imagine being a 16-year-old Furman, freshly moved up here from Florida. Oh, wait, no, that's not the story I'm telling. I'm telling the worst one. Okay, so imagine being it was 6th grade Furman. Now, I went to, and I say this with no hate in my heart, the blackest middle school to ever exist. I mean, they took our group photo.
I could see that. Yeah, you look like a member of the black community.
Oh, well,
I'm willing to argue with you on that. But
no, they took our group photo. Even all the teachers, the janitors, everybody, the cafeteria ladies, even the bus drivers were. I had nothing against that. It's just like it's easy to be picked on when you're the only fucking big-headed white guy in there.
Fair.
Yeah. So my brilliant thought was, I had gotten suspended a year before from the same school for, just doing random shit. I threw a firecracker over one of the boulevards, scared a whole bunch of people, whatever. Anyway, so in my little monkey brain, I went, all I got to do is get suspended. They didn't even call my parents. They were just like, it is what it is.
So you wanted to get suspended.
You damn right. I got my ass whooped every day because I had not mastered the skill of shutting the fuck up.
So you were contributing to black on white violence.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, not on purpose. It was just more general dumbassery, and I was getting checked for it. And apparently walking around with a Nintendo DS and a pocket full of change and honey buns in your backpack, just it doesn't really help when you have a big fucking mouth. So anyway, I'm going to this school. I'm like, all right, I got a brilliant plan. I'm already getting my ass beat. The trick is, I just need an audience. Now, I got into, and I shit you not, 32 consecutive fights.
In one day?
No. I wish I was that good. But back then I sucked at fighting, so.
So you tallied it up.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I got my ass jumped in the bathroom. I got my ass jumped in the cafeteria. I got my ass jumped in the cafeteria because someone was making fun of me for eating Cheerios with milk with chopsticks. I was practicing.
No,
I didn't mean for that one to happen.
I
But
would
Yeah,
have
yeah.
also picked on you.
That's
I'm not
fair.
gonna lie. That's pretty weird.
I was that one kid that was just 2 steps away from coming in with a body pillow. I was that close until I got checked. Anyway, so each time it would get like consecutively longer. It was like 1 day in suspension, 2 day in suspension, 3 day in and so on and so forth. Eventually I got to a point where I got to go to out of school suspension. And they don't and in Florida, they don't just send you home. You don't get to like watch TV and chill out at the house. No, there's one guy at the front of the trailer and all the kids that did actually bad shit inside that trailer with you. Here's a packet. Finish it by the end of the day. What's in it? Everything.
The laws of physics, theory of relativity, things we haven't even discovered yet.
I read Treasure Island 37 fucking times.
Damn, you should have. You didn't stop at 32. You could have did one for each fight.
I mean, I could have, but like at a certain point, I just like I knew the answers: A, B, C,
Yeah.
E.
That seems super flawed because like they would get all the kids that were smart, you know, the gifted and talented. They would group them together, hoping that they could excel.
Well,
If you group all the kids together that are swinging on their peers,
It's just like jail. We're gonna crime it up the second we get out.
there's a quote. I don't know.
don't drop the eraser. Like, you don't want to get caught up.
I don't know who this quote's from, but I think it's some comedian. Shit piles up at the bottom. Meaning, if you're already in some shit, well, here you're gonna get an extra serving.
Oh yeah.
So the best way to avoid being in a bad situation is to already be in a good situation.
And see that
Shit attracts shit.
You're not wrong, because like I've never known anybody to hang out with like a smack addict and then be like, yeah, my life is actually it's good, right? Yeah, no, but these kids, like I'm not gonna lie, I made prison connects in there. We weren't allowed to talk to each other, but like we would
prison.
basically the second
6th grade.
Yeah, well, it was kid prison. I'm not saying like I ever got bad touched in the bathroom.
Weenie Hut prison.
Welcome to Weenie Hut prison. How tough are you? I got into a fight and I didn't have any arms. Oh shit.
So you got what you wanted.
I did, but also like after that started happening, I realized that I was never like walked to the school bus. Dad didn't sit there. He didn't wave. It wasn't like, oh, bye, Furman. Have a good day. Bye, Dad. I love you. Thanks for being proud of me. He said never. Anyway, so I would just wander around the trailer park. And the shit that I would see was just, it was so much fun. There was always a fist fight going on in the trailer park. So I learned how to take a dive like super easy.
A guy like you that was interested in what happens at a trailer park. That's how we get dudes like Maury. That's how those guys get born. They walk out there, they find one specific trailer park, and like the one season is just one house after another. You know, one family after the next. Like they don't even have to like do different parks.
Yeah, no, I was out there
It's
taking
fun.
notes. I was just like, and Kendra found out that Jacob was sleeping with her brother, son, cousin, aunt. Crowbar to the face. I'm fucking.
I've heard of some pretty crazy trailer park stories, but one in particular, I'm not going to say which of my family members this was, but there was a dude. His name was Nate, and he was one of those dudes that didn't know when to shut up, and he got into it with this particular family member, and so they went over to his house. They beat his truck, his brand new truck, with a baseball bat. Him and his buddy just start beating on the truck. He comes outside at the moment they're pouring gasoline onto the truck because they don't want they don't want the machine operated ever again. He comes outside screaming and hollering. Didn't have a gun on him, which doesn't make sense. He should have had a shotty, so they would have ran away instead of breaking his legs with the baseball bat. So he could lay there in pain and watch as his truck was set ablaze.
So I can only imagine him just laying on the ground. How did this happen? You didn't have a weapon. Like even a butcher knife. Like give him a little something.
If I, like who's walking? If I open my door and I see my truck getting beat on, I'm gonna find a broom, a shoe. I mean, anything. And the first thing I see, I'm grabbing. I'm not gonna walk out there empty-handed, shaking my fists like they're gonna run away. Especially when you're a skinny tweaker who's the wind could take you somewhere if they wanted you to go. Like,
you better get away from my truck, or what? Come make some.
I've got a slugger. You've got a meth pipe. One of us is gonna lose.
This isn't Popeye. You're not gonna light it up. No.
So, I'm ready to tell this crime story.
All right.
Because this can be a series. I've got like a host of things that I've ran into. I'm kind of out of that now. No legal trouble for a long time. But I'll start it with the quote. We all know this quote. No good deed goes unpunished. Didn't that always seem like a weird quote to me? Like, what is it saying? No good deed goes unpunished. You've heard that.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
It means like, it's kind of like the old saying, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. It's one of those, like, you can do something good, but if it's not actually, you can do something good and it can still bite you in the ass.
Yeah. So this story starts with good intentions. I'm somebody who seldom has good intentions. I often think of myself first. I'm a selfish person naturally, and I've worked to, make that better and be a nicer person over time. I don't want to be just all me. It's not ideal, but it starts with a good deed. So it starts with a Drake song called Nonstop.
Yeah, okay.
Off the Scorpion album.
Yep.
There's a lyric on this album. It's like a rolly shit don't ever stop watch. And I had a friend who asked me like what that meant, like what was he referring to, and he's referring to the sweeping motion of a mechanical watch. Like Rolexes don't do ticks, they sweep. And my friend was like, this is really cool. I think that's cool, like you mean a watch that doesn't tick? Like he found it interesting. His birthday was coming up. And I'm like, I'm gonna get this guy a duplicate Rolex. I'm gonna get him a dupe Rolex. And I mean, it's because mechanical watches all sweep, so you can buy a fake, and it'll still have that sweeping motion.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was gonna pretend I was giving him a real Rolex. It was just I'm gonna give him a Rolex. So it all starts with that. I got a friend, his birthday's coming up. I'm gonna give him the Rolex. I go online and I find like a dupe from overseas that I like, and I decide to order it. And so I order it, and so here's where things start to go bad.
All right.
This is the start of the bad part.
I want to preface this with 99% of fraudulent items you order from overseas will not result in any issue. Like 99% of the time, it's a safe bet.
Yeah, I've got like 30 Noki shirts in my at my house.
So I placed this order. Weeks go by. It's still not here. I'm looking at the tracking. I'm like, what's the holdup? I notice it's made it to the States, and it's stuck in customs. And that happens. Things can get held in customs, yada, yada. It normally clears in a couple days.
Yeah.
So the tracking never seems to update. Weeks go by, and it's still in customs. And so I'm at work, and there comes a day where a letter at work comes to me, like a letter and addressed to me shows up, and I'm like, So I open it, and it's U.S. Customs Border Patrol, whatever, saying they'd found my package, they've deemed it fraudulent goods, they've destroyed the watch, they have the right to pursue me legally if they so choose, and they forwarded all of this information to the copyright holder, Rolex, and they also have the full right to pursue me legally. Okay. So that's very concerning, shocking, yada yada. So I go on the forums, I'm reading up people who have had similar experiences. Everybody says you're definitely not getting your watch. You can say, fuck off to that. But the customs letter is standard protocol. 99% of the time, nothing happens from there. Like that's the last letter you'll receive, you're good. So 99% of the time, nothing, and then 99% of the time if you get a letter, still nothing. So the odds are still in my favor.
Right.
So after that, a couple more weeks go by, I get a new letter from the trademark holder's attorney office in New York, Rolex, citing that they tell me all that they can do to me. Basically, they can sue me for 5 to 10 times the MSRP of the actual watch not the dupe. Yeah, a trademark infringed item can be sued for like multiples of the actual value of the item. And they tell me all this shit that they can do to me. And so I go back on the forums, I'm reading more and more, and they say, listen, unless that letter was, I think it's called reserved mail. Reserved mail is where they have to confirm the recipient's identity before delivering it. So, like, you can pay an extra $5, and the postman who delivers it has to deliver it to you personally. He has to check your ID to confirm you got it. If they send that kind of letter, you're in deep shit, because that means they are paying extra to identify you received this mail.
Yeah, and that's taxpayer money right there.
They spend even a penny extra than they have to. They're 100% gung ho.
And so I'm still operating under the assumption that I'm good, because when you check the forums, everybody's telling me, look, even if the trademark holder reached out, if the letter wasn't reserved, don't worry, you're good. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. There's a lot of other problems taking place at this time. A lot. So around this time, I begin to realize that the address that I had this watch supposedly delivered to,
allegedly,
was the company I was working for's address. And all of a sudden, there starts to be these delays on international shipments that people begin talking about at work. And I'm wondering, international shipments are getting delayed now to this location. And I just had a package seized by customs.
If 1 + 1 = 2, and 2 + 2 = 4.
And so I'm like, I'm about to lose my job. I'm about to get sued by Rolex. My ex-wife was pregnant at the time. I'm royally, potentially fucked.
Yeah, Rolex sitting over there. I'm about to end this man's entire career.
Okay, right? But okay, so all I have to worry about now is maybe the job finds out I caused this, and maybe I get a new letter that is paid for. Okay, so time goes by, and sure enough, I get another letter, and it's reserved. Okay, so here's what happens. I take a day off work randomly, just a regular day off. I come back the next day, and the general manager at the time says, hey, I've got a letter for you. So somebody from the post office came by and personally asked to, where you were, looking for you to give you this letter. And I said, oh, well, that's interesting. He was like, yeah, I was able to just sign it off for you. And I'm like, okay. It's the fucking piece of reserve mail. So open it up. And this isn't what we can do to you. This is what we're going to do to you. There was a court date. There was a failure to show up. Like, if you don't show up to this, you're fucked. Like, there was everything. It was the legal proceedings in this letter. And so I'm like triply fucked now. I've had a lot of crisis in my life, so I kind of been formed in the chaos. So, but this is probably the worst I've ever been. So I'm like, okay. The same day that this happens, I see the general manager and the shipping manager in a meeting at work discussing something, and I know it's related to the shipments not coming in. I fucking know it. It's all anyone's talking about.
You can just feel it right here in your gut. You're like, oh no.
And after the meeting concludes, I get called in. It comes out and says, Matt, can I speak to you? And so I'm going into this meeting like,
that's it.
Please. And this is just me, a good deed that I was trying to do. The whole time Zach's like, when's my watch coming in? Because I told him he's like, when's it coming? I'm like, I don't know.
Any day now. Santa's workshop's
and
a little backed up.
Some of my miraculous luck comes into play. because I've got a stroke of just wonderful luck. So I get in that meeting, my head's down. I'm like, I'm just waiting. I'm not going to say anything. I'm waiting. And the manager at the time goes, I'm transitioning out of management. I'd like to make you the new floor manager. Are you interested? And I'm like, absolutely.
Baby dude, you're the kind of person that gets arrested and finds a lottery ticket in the fucking prison.
So work seems clear for now. I'm like, okay, they don't know. This might not even be related to me. I might still, good. Going back on the forums, what am I going to do? I've got court proceedings in New York for this trademark. What am I going to do? And all the forums are like, it's now split from you're 99% safe to you have two options, and neither are good. Either one, you still ignore the letter, you don't respond, and you pray that's the end of it. But more often than not, it is not. And most people did the second option, which was, it's time to lawyer up. You better lawyer up. That if you don't lawyer up now, you are asking for it. And so I'm left with two choices. Ignore the letter again, or lawyer up. But you know what I decided to do? A third option that I created myself.
Represent yourself?
Oh, please
sort
don't.
of.
No.
Do you know the story, right? Okay. I would never recommend this. So dumb in retrospect. But here's what happened. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a cease and desist letter impersonating an actual lawyer that so
You're just going to fake it till you make it.
So I find a defense lawyer online who handles trademark shit. And I make a domain as if I were this law office. So I create a domain, set up an email at thislawoffice.com. Okay. And I decide to represent myself fraudulently as an acting attorney that I decided this guy looks like the perfect dude. I'm going to be him. That was what I decided. So I looked up a law office, picked an attorney, and I'm like, yep, that's me. Because in the letter, there's an email. There's like an email listed in the court proceedings. Actually, no, I take that back. Remembering it more, that's not what happened. There wasn't an email. There was a name of the lawyer who was going to be personally overseeing the case and pursuing me. So I looked up his law office in New York, and I found his contact info off their website. And there was an email. And so I write my own cease and desist letter to this lawyer's email to try and end the case. And cease and desist is basically, if you send me one more letter, we're going to countersue, or we're going to pursue you legally if you send one more letter.
Yeah, this is harassment at this point.
And so
you did like the complete opposite of it got lost in the mail.
Yeah. So I spent so much time crafting this perfect letter because I used references, other cease and desist letters. I craft perfection. And I'm a believer in telling the truth when it comes to getting out of things. So I did not deny guilt. I was like, my client, I was speaking on behalf of my own self, my client.
Mr. AK Baby Doo is very, very sorry.
And somewhere in the letter I worded it, I will never do this again. You will never have to worry about me. I've learned my lesson. And I used different wording. And then I ended the second half with a threat. The first half was acknowledgement, understanding, I'll never do it again, forgive me, and much more sophisticated wording. And the second one was, if you send another letter, we are going to be we are taking this to court for harassment. If you send one more letter,
it's on, baby.
It's on.
Right.
And never heard from them again. Never heard. And I'm I know the statute of limitations on this is 4.5 years or something. and so I can talk about it now a lot more openly.
Oh my god!
So,
But,
but
like,
4 years,
I still had to be a little worried.
Your mind,
I
it's
still
just
had
sitting there.
yes. So I signed up for 4 years of stress for one good deed I was trying to do. One good fucking deed.
Did the shipments that were being delayed, did that stop?
So that finally did stop. I still think there's a good chance that was related to me. And to this date, I'm internationally customs blacklisted. They won't stop my package. I mean, they won't not deliver my packages. But if I order something from overseas, it's held in customs every time. If it has my name on it, it's held in customs.
Damn it, AK baby dude! I had a shipment of 10 Jamaican Garfields with blunts on them.
And then you got to at the same time. No one knows. I'm the only one who knows this.
Yeah, you can't.
Nobody else. So it's exclusively me. Because my ex-wife is pregnant, like 6 months pregnant. I'm not sharing this.
Of course not.
I'm not sharing
Hang on,
it.
we might be in, millions in debt right now. It's possible.
I can't tell anybody at work about it.
Dude, I've heard of people having secret families being in less shit than $500,000.
And and it just so happens, of course, the dupe Rolex that I decided to buy for him was the most expensive MSRP actual one. So, like, if you had to pick a Rolex to buy, it was the most expensive one you could have bought.
It was like a Rolex, but with a lowercase r.
It's like 48K MSRP.
Those are definitely English
And they're
words.
like, hey, we can sue you for like 5 times the MSRP. And so, yeah. But I won. I came out the other side of it.
Dude, that's some Better Call Saul shit that you just pulled. I want to let you know
Absolutely.
that.
And you know how much I was digging myself deeper because what if they followed up with that law office?
Hey, wait a minute. Could you imagine, though, like being somebody trying to actually find this guy and they find your page first?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, how fucking... I bet you've got like 20 emails of people like, I'm going through a divorce.
So,
I've been in a car accident.
And so that is a point of strength for me today. Like having that under my belt allows me to handle stressful situations way better. Because I'm like, remember that one time?
When you were about like half a mil in debt?
Compared to that. This is nothing.
Okay, and now, this is not me trying to sound like hateful, but like I'm genuinely curious. How much jail time do you think $500,000 gets you?
I don't know, man.
You would still be in there to this day. You'd be in there for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever somebody asks you, what are you in for? That story was just
a gift.
I bought a watch off Temu
to some guy. He's like, dude, I robbed a dollar store, man. How are we in the same same area?
I ate a baby. You're not even close.
And my favorite part is I get to say it all started with a Drake song.
Most problems do start.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Well, it's part of God's plan, you know.
So yeah, that's
God's plan. Oh my God.
That's another entry in the crime series.
Next time on True Crime, we'll discuss the time that I had sex with a 78-year-old woman while I was 16.
One of my
true story, by the way.
One of my favorite like crime stories of mine. It happened maybe a year or two ago. It really wasn't to get something I wanted. It just kind of happened. It was one of those things you didn't expect to happen to you.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine comes over to my house because he wants to take us to Corinth to go thrifting or something. I think that's what we were going to do. And Starbucks is it's really what he wanted.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Starbucks had the bros.
Yeah. Starbies with the pookies for sure. And he pulled up and he had a bong in his hand. He said, "Hey, dude, you want to hotbox the car before we go?" And being the young stoner that I was, I said, absolutely, let's do that.
That's fucking genius.
So we take rip after rip after rip. I'm surprised we still had any left over. The car was fuming, okay? But before we leave, he said, hey man, listen, you're going to have to either hold this bong in between your legs or in your hands the entire time. And I was feeling kind of lazy, and I didn't want to do that. I said, "No, dude.
Fair.
Here's what we're gonna do."
And you're high.
Yeah, and I'm high. I'm not about to for sure. And I said, "No, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this bong and this weed, and I'm gonna go take it inside. We're just gonna leave it inside.
Yeah.
Just not take it with us. We don't need it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're already up there. Like
Not a minute within us pulling out of the driveway. A cop sitting at the end of the road. We turn next to him, and immediately the lights start flashing. Immediately, and I'm like, "Oh no, bro! He's on to us. He's on to us." And so the guy hands me his vape, even though I'm not 21 and he's not 21. So why give it to me? I take his vape and my vape and pocket them alongside my headphones. That's all I had on me.
Yeah.
And they pull us over. They walk up, rolls the window down, and they say, "Let's just cut the bullshit. How much weed's in the car?" And I'm just smiling so big because I'm thinking an act of laziness has saved us from jail. He said, "Not a gram, man. Not a gram."
Hey,
they didn't believe us.
That's the right answer.
He said, "Why does your car smell like this?" And we said, "We had some friends, and they were smelling pretty skunky, man. It wasn't. We didn't have any. It was just that bad." So they pull us out. They search the entire car. They search me. Pockets not. I get frisked. Okay, and by a dude. So it could have been better. And he pulls out my headphones. And he said, "Oh, what is this?" He hands it to another officer.
You know the weeds in the headphones.
They open it up and look at it, and they're so disappointed. They were just hoping that that's where I was stashing the bud.
Dude, imagine the effort if that was like hell.
For sure. I'm on the back of the car. They take both vapes and sit them on the trunk. I'm like, "Oh, they're gonna get us for this. We're got." They find nothing. They find nothing at all. And so they say, "You know what? You guys, you don't need to drive high. We can't prove you had anything. We're going to let you guys go." So not only do they let us go, but because I don't have my ID on me, they give me the vapes back. So we keep the vapes.
Oh, great.
And we get into the car and we drive off into the sunset towards Corinth, Mississippi.
Hell yeah.
With both vapes in tow. And it was quite the...
He made it.
We made it.
Man, you are so much luckier than me. Like what? Okay, so remember how I used to say, like, I used to walk around the trailer park and shit? Like when I first moved out to the place that we're at now, I'm not going to lie to you. I got pulled over during a very enthusiastic walk. No Mary Jane, no cocaine. This is young Furman. I'm still innocent-ish.
Full of life.
Oh, yeah. Well, till the days hit. Anyway. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? And I'm with my I've got my first girlfriend. She got her phone from her parents. She's like, "Hey, come over. They're asleep." And I'm in the garage. And I'm like, "You are 4'0" with a set of double D's. I would fucking murder a priest right now to be in your presence. Hell yes, let's do this."
If your parents were awake sitting on a couch in the garage, I'm still gonna come over.
No, dude,
nothing's stopping me.
I don't care. I will fuck you in the middle of the high school right now. She could have asked me to burn down a church, and I'd have been like, "Okay, but which one?" Because the one next to me's got nice stained glass.
The desperation knows no bounds.
Oh, dude, I was simping so hard. So anyway, the first time I break out, like, and my parents' house was like a fortress, dude. They put locks on locks on stocks on locks. But I make it out. I climb downstairs. I'm full ninja mode. I'm pressed up against the wall. I can literally hear the dun 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 music.
The theme music plays.
Yeah, dude. But
her parents set that up too.
Oh yeah, seriously. It was really a problem taking a shit at night. But anyway, I make it to the back door, unlock the back door, pull the little alarm tab, so that way battery, I like reinsert it. Right? I didn't pull. I reinserted it.
Damn.
So it blocks it. I'm like, yes.
But then it went off.
No, worse. It didn't. Now the problem is, it's being freshly new to the area. I don't know where the fuck I'm going,
bro.
Yeah, so I'm heading.
You don't know where your girl lives?
No, not a fucking clue. This is before the advent of good phones. I had like a Nokia. I had to do like the fucking HHH. It was like 444. 444 for high. And like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. So she gives me like a vague sense of directions. I start heading downtown. Now, downtown from my house is about 1.5 miles. I get to the biggest church in town. I see a cop. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Bebopping away. And then I had a brilliant idea. I was like, I have no idea where this chick lives. I've got no internet. I've got no way of finding this. I forgot to print out the map, Quest map. So let me.
That's how it was back in the day.
Sonny, you have no idea how good you got. So I'm sitting there. I'm lost. I've got no way of finding this chick, but I know for a fact that she's still awake because she's still hitting me up. She's like, "Oh my God, the things I'm gonna do to you." I'm like 14, dude. I was sweaty, bro. I was the last Fortnite player on Gold League. I wanted it that bad. So I make it to the big church, and then I realize I don't know where I'm going. And then I see a cop car. Now, the cop car doesn't notice me. So I have this brilliant idea.
Ask the cop for directions.
I did.
Genius.
I waved to him because...
Stroke of genius.
I waved to him. I was like, "Hey." The cop pulls up.
Get on the ground.
Worse. I would have rather just been taken to jail. So he pulls over. He's like, "Hey, do you have any idea?" No, I live up the street. Okay, so what are you doing out here? And I was straight with him because I had a condom in my pocket, a pack of cigarettes.
What time was it?
It was 1:00 in the morning.
Okay.
Now, what you might not know, viewers, is that some towns have a curfew.
Yeah. There we go.
You know what they don't have in Florida? Fucking curfews.
Oh, okay, so you're good.
Yeah, no. From where I moved from, this is considered a big city. So we had like a gas station, and that was it. It was just gators and fucking trees. So I'm just being blatant with him. I was like, "Look, man, I'm 14. I've got this hot chick. She has shown me her boobs on her phone. I'm trying to get there from here." And the cop, the whole time, he's just... I would have believed you were, older. But we have a curfew, right? And I was like, "I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I need to get to these boobs right now. I need to. Please, help me."
There are lint ladles that are fiending for me, officer. Please.
Big old mommy memories. You cannot deny... It is
Making memories with the memories, man. Let me go.
This is life in the pursuit of happiness right here. This is constitutional. So he goes, "Look, man, I can't do that." And that's...
Oh, no.
My heart finally left any sort of love.
He was a prude.
It wasn't that. He was just like, "I'm going to lose my job if you get ran over, and you're stupid enough to wave me down. I got to take you home to get your helmet." So... So he pats me down, finds everything in my pockets my condom, by the way.
Yeah.
Dick move.
He takes your condom.
I'll save this for later.
Yeah, he just puts it in here. He's like, "We're not gonna tell your parents about this." So I'm handcuffed in the back of his car, and I'm not gonna lie.
Damn, bro.
All the realization hits me. I'm angry at myself. I start kicking the back of the seat. I was like, "You motherfucker!" I was like one of those Karens that get arrested at a McDonald's. "You son of a bitch! You can't do this. You don't know who I am. I will take you to actual jail." Butt rape sounds pretty good. Now you're gonna want to go down like past this light all the way to the end of the corner, and we pulled into my house. He's still got his lights on, and they're on silent, and I would have in that moment. I was like, jail isn't that bad. I think I know somebody that might have, bail money. Like, how much could it be for, that? I honestly toyed with the idea of just telling my parents that a friend had picked me up and just telling them that I lived somewhere the fuck else, like their house.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, "Then never buy that. They know I don't have friends." So
I feel like if he was like, his mindset was, "I don't want to tell your parents."
He would have
just given him any address. You probably would have got away with that.
Yeah, no. The problem is that since I started kicking the back of his seat,
he
made a point of it.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, that he's normally I don't like to justify the actions of 1 a.m. 12. But that's
we can all agree one of the most annoying things is somebody kicking the back of your seat.
not more annoying than critiquing my driving while I'm on the road. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
definitely a close
annoying.
second.
Oh, dude, and I'm not gonna lie. I was making promises I couldn't keep. I was like, I'll give you anything, bro. I will give you anything.
So you have that condom, okay?
Look, we're
it
friends.
can happen.
When I grow up and I make a lot of money, well, guess what?
Look-
15% of all my earnings, it's yours.
My
Shark
firstborn
Tank.
child.
For life.
Look, just I get $5 a week. I will give you half of that. I mean, man, still got to eat. Come on, man. Your shoes looking awfully dirty. I'll clean them for you. You know, there's dirt in your back seat now because of me. I'll take us down to the car wash. I'll clean it.
Car wash. You need to be quicker than that. I'll be your personal dustbuster, man.
No, fucking
Get it out of there, man, as fast as possible.
Oh, dude, I remember because I was rambling so hard. I was just like, he probably didn't even hear it because I'm going like 50 miles a minute. I sound like an auctioneer. And we got 35 on all my life savings. So
does it have a happy ending? Did you reconvene later?
No.
No, you lost her?
Oh, well, yeah, there's a whole story on that because a week later, nailed it.
Okay, see, so that's what I mean. So,
oh, dude, and
the story it was a little longer story, but
it
reached a conclusion.
Yeah, but seeing your stepdad who likes to, use you as a punching bag, open the door in a bathrobe.
After having to unlock 6 or 7 locks, you had to go through remember combinations.
Dude,
Yeah.
they thought
Get
that
the keys off his.
I guarantee you that officer thought we were in a fucking trap house. So I looked at him, and he looked at the officer. Then he looked directly at me and didn't break eye contact for the rest of the fucking time. Is this yours? Yep. You want him back? Nope. What? But I have to give him to you back, or you're gonna have to pay for juvie.
Yup.
Yeah.
He tightened up his robe. A sandal appeared out of nowhere. Oh god, it was.
When the chocolates enter, it's over.
Oh, dude.
There's no mercy for
He
you.
was dual wielding. I just.
Damn.
You have had much better cop interactions than me.
I've had really good cop interactions.
Even after the high speed chase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saving for another, because those are my big two: is the Rolex lawsuit and the chase. The chase, to give you how grand it is I actually got a personal roadblock. I got a personal roadblock for this chase.
That's pretty cool.
So that story is just as crazy.
Didn't they
believe it
have-
or not. It all started with good intentions.
Wait, didn't they even fly out like a fat sheriff in a hat that started hitting the side of his knee and shit?
Well, I had guns drawn on me.
Oh,
I
okay.
know that. Multiple guns pointed at my head. Soon as they threw me out of the car.
I just was running away. This is really not necessary.
Yeah.
But tune in for the next true crime podcast.
We've told a lot of our own stories tonight. But really, it's about giving back to the community,
Mm-hmm.
with some insight.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to ask our guest tonight, because, we have a guest on.
Ooh.
They're meant to be special. It's an important person.
Oh yeah, freaky.
Lots of people. That's probably the number one thing I've been called my entire life. Special. It's come up on more than one occasion.
Yeah, we even took your helmet off tonight.
I did.
So I wanted to ask, how's the rap career going?
Oh man. Well. So clearly, since I'm here tonight, without my security guards.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dave.
Well, we've got those,
Well,
we are behind the ice wall.
Not to be disrespectful to you and your crew, but my bodyguards are 3 times the size of your bodyguards. My life is in much more danger than y'all's.
It's not the size
Well,
that
yeah,
counts.
it comes with the territory.
Absolutely. I mean, I could rap about daisies and dandelions, and the threat of gang violence still hangs over my head because I've entered into this industry. And I like that. I like the constant adrenaline that that's in my veins every time I have to. Even at work, every time I walk up and down an aisle, I hit a left and right, making sure I'm always aware of what's going on around me, because the one day I'm gonna get King Von, and I really don't need that, because there's too much good music that I have to make before that happens.
Right.
So once I put out 15 albums, then I'm gonna disband my security guards and go out in the public alone.
Yeah,
and I'll be ready by that point.
Oh, you're gonna be the new Biggie.
I guess
I'm bigger.
I'm curious. So what's your path forward, and what do you think the current status of the industry is, the rap industry?
So lots of talk about AI has been, in the air involving the music industry, and I'm trying to ignore that mostly, even though there's probably lots of routes that could be explored.
Mm-hmm. I think it's good to ignore it.
I think so too, because the moment human creativity is what you can be an audio engineer that knows everything about how sound waves work and the frequencies to the 0.01 megahertz. You can know all of that. But if you don't have like even an ounce of human creativity, you're not going to make it as far as somebody who can just, get into a booth and make something without auto-tune. They may not even need a beat at first. They could just get up in there, spit something in the void. You put a beat on it afterwards, and that's success.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially these days, 22,000 songs are put out in a day.
So you know these stats.
Absolutely, and
that's a lot to compete with.
Not at all.
No,
I've thought about that also, because whenever someone brought it up to me, they said you need to be making more music, a lot more music, because these guys are out recording you.
Yeah, I would disagree with that.
I don't hear 22,000 new songs a day.
Yeah,
maybe I hear one in a week that's brand new that really gets me excited. But 22,000 a day, how much of that's just going to get made and then sent? Never to be heard by more than 20 individuals, and that being their family and maybe their friends that were in the studio with them.
Right.
You can make 22,000 meh bangers, if you want to call them that, or you can, like our boy Tweaker, what does he go by? It's like CeeLo, or I don't know what his actual name is, but the Tweaker song. That guy just got into the booth, one song, one day, and that's all it took for him to make like 640 grand off of that one song up to this point. Not to mention, I'm sure that skyrocketed whenever Lil Wayne decided to hop in for a remix. If Lil Wayne hops on one of your songs, you're immediately credible.
Yeah, it's valid.
Absolutely.
It's valid.
That's the ultimate validation, having Lil Wayne on one of your songs.
Oh yeah.
He's like the last old head that still makes music today and rap.
Ice Cube just put out an album.
Yeah, but
isn't 50 out there still?
I haven't heard anything new from 50.
I feel like the quality of their music is...
Well, it's kind of hard to not rest on your laurels when you got like a mansion and 50 bitches in your bed. Like I feel like
well, yeah, the drive might go dissipate a little.
So weird question. So how many have you produced a song yet, or are you still mastercrafting?
So I'm 100% still in the workshop. Because even though I said if you know everything about the audio engineering, that's not necessarily being creative is number one, but learning that stuff easily number two. I've been reading some books and studying. Like for example, I didn't know that like for your speakers that you have sitting here. Those produce the low ends. Yeah, I have some just like this. The low ends, whenever they're sitting on a table, completely different whenever you decouple them and put a piece of foam under them and you sit them on specific types of foam, completely changes the low end. And something as small as that, I think, if I don't know things like that, then whenever I'm listening to something I'm creating, if there's something I don't like or something I want to fix, I'm just gonna have to go to a forum, and look up. Oh, I want to do this, and you can do that and it'll be successful. But if you already have a bunch of knowledge already, then you can just.
But there are rappers, and then there are producers, and then there's people who meet in the middle. But some rappers are just rappers. They couldn't tell you how to fucking turn on a computer.
Right.
Some of them.
Yeah.
True.
And so you're saying you're more in the middle. You want to learn.
Well, I don't want to have to rely on buying other people's music and their beats whenever all of the ideas that I have are so specific. But what I want to do is so specific. I'm not going to find that one beat that really just perfectly fits the idea. Right. Sometimes you can, especially whenever, like, if I don't start writing a song first, if I just, like, listen to some beats and I freestyle for a second and I get on one, I'm like, oh, I can freestyle on this beat, which means I can totally write to this beat 100%. Right.
Okay, so weird question. What would you say your style... So can you freestyle just off a random beat?
Anything.
Really?
Not to say that they're all going to be great, because I've found that I have a 5-10 minute like window at the beginning where it's like it's not great. I'm trying to find a flow or a style I wanna attempt, And then once I push past that, sometimes out the gate it's a banger. But sometimes it takes a second to get into it. And once I'm into it, I went on a 6-hour drive, and like for a solid 3 hours I just went and without stopping. And I think if I would record all of that and then go back home and write down the good parts, I feel like that would be easier than just sitting down, blank piece of paper. Everything is just original. You have to come up with like everything, the start, the end.
Well, I'm a big believer in the freestyle method, and I've always assumed the professionals do it this way. When there are certain rappers who are freestyle rappers. What they say is just pure freestyle.
Lil Wayne being a prime example.
I'd assume the way that happens is they're freestyling, they hit a break, like a line goes through that's kind of shit, they cut it, boom, the freestyle starts back at the last good point. And then they learn the song when it's finished. So like it's full freestyle, but boom, dropped a bar, cut, start back from this point, and then boom, freestyling again. Like that sounds like a good way to make a song. Yeah. But it's probably complicated from a technical standpoint.
So there's going to be a lot more work than if you already have like a full verse out, because then you can cut that verse into parts and you kind of know the direction. Whenever they're freestyling, you don't know, they might like halfway through the song you have a few good lines, and then halfway through the song they say something that's just so grand that the first half is just terrible in comparison. And so you have to throw all of that out and start afresh, and maybe that happens to that idea and the next idea. Who knows? It could keep going, and then I've had this happen. I'll reach the end of a session. There was so much good that we got rid of because something better came along that we ended up with nothing. We just stopped because all of our time was gone, and we were just too busy, in the flow. Which I don't mind being there at all. Yeah. If we spend a whole day in the studio and we don't record a single thing, it's just we're in the beats, we're in the music, we're coming up with ideas. I'm fine with that. That's how I'd spend any day given the opportunity.
So weird question then. Do you think that like a competitive thing might give you like a little bit more inspiration?
Absolutely.
Really? Well, let me go ahead and tickle your Twinkie with an idea. You know what? I happen to know about not an upcoming big artist, but somebody that's about your level, but they love to freestyle. I mean, I've heard this guy rap to basically 90s background music.
90s boom bap is so
underrated.
I love rapping to those
That
beats.
is my favorite freestyle beats to rap to.
So
it's my favorite beats to rap to.
Once you get into it, it's like the things you say seem so much more prophetic at times. Like it just
what it is. It's because a lot of beats don't emphasize the rapper; they emphasize the song or the beat. The '90s boom bap, it's like perfectly cradles the lyrics.
Yeah, it just
absolutely.
It allows so much emphasis.
Yeah,
you can actually like somebody that's a rapper that you think's a good rapper because they're out here rapping on heavy 808 beats. You put them on a boom bap beat, and you'll really find out how good of a rapper they are.
Maybe
with like regular beats. There's lots of filler. There's lots of here's something interesting here,
and I don't like that because
there's
I like to freestyle on the boom bap because it's so much more organic. There's so much fucking noise in some of the modern beats. You're like, what? Where do I get a word in for emphasis when there's just these fucking sound effects?
And also like lots of beats now, the BPMs are much higher because people like the adrenaline of a quick song. With the boom bap beats, even if the BPMs are high, the pace is up to you. If you want to do one,
you nailed it. That's another thing. You can effectively pick your pace on a boom bap beat, and it works. Like you can just pick it, and it always works.
Right.
I don't understand.
And you can also just change it up with these looped beats. It's because it's like they'll pick like a good 25, 30 seconds of beat, maybe a different one for 30 seconds, and they'll go back, forth. There's not much change. It's just these two. You can't change your flow and your rhythm as much as you can on a boom bap because that's, as I said, it's all because your voice and your lyrics. It's just like out there. It's really all you can pay attention to. There's just
return to boom bap.
Return for sure.
And let's go ahead and return to where we were standing. Now, I had floated this idea past AK Baby Do, and I think that it would be great for you to have a little competition, a little bit of battle for the blood. Not a diss rap battle, but a rap off between you and this other artist.
So I want you to know that I have spent countless showers waiting for the day that somebody says, let's do a battle rap. I've waited for a battle rap to enter my life, and I am so prepared that anyone that steps on anybody that's on the other side of me, they better pray they don't get to go. They don't go second. Because I'm gonna pull a B rabbit, and they're gonna be done.
When you say that, are you referring to like insulting battle rap or just simply out freestyling the other person?
This is out freestyling.
Both. I mean, for sure, both. Either way.
Well, I mean, that's what the competition is laid out for. But I'm glad that we here at False Graves can help make your dream come true, bro.
I'm so excited. I've actually
What if we told you he's here tonight?
I'm ready. I'm telling you, whenever I say that, like I've waited and I've practiced, I don't mean that like I have like anything ready to go. Right now, I have nothing on the mind. I would go in blind because I think it's unfair to have anything in. I would clear my mind immediately. I would come in as raw as possible. Maybe my first 5 minutes, people are like, "Oh, this guy's really he's really gonna do it." Maybe not. But you give me just enough time. You let that beat sink into my veins. It's the line that it's gone over my head a bunch of times, like how I would start a battle rap.
But you're gonna forget what you're gonna.
I'm gonna forget this. Okay. I can't say this. I mean, it makes me sad that I came up with it before the opportunity arose. But I want to start off one by saying, OBGYN, I know all about this pussy. And I wanted to say that so many times.
It's pretty good start. Pretty hard intro.
Depending on what beat ends up being picked, which by the way, we might actually set up polls on the website. So if you know anybody that wants to go ahead and get a sneak peek, we'll pick out about 4 or 5 different tracks. We'll go ahead and let you two pick which ones you want. And then boom.
Wow.
Cool. The type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand.
Oh, seriously. This is your time to this is going to be your time to shine. Me and AK will go ahead and referee this, so that way if a fist fight breaks out, we don't have to get the bodyguard.
At some point, I'll have to get in. At some point,
there's a rule in the battle rap world, and it's if you can see it anytime you're battle rapping somebody. If getting upset and frustrated, you use that to drive the next thing you say.
Yeah.
But if you get mad and you swing, it's considered the most brutal loss in history because you let your emotions get the better of you. If the other rapper wins, that's a KO. That's considered a KO.
It's the Will Smith slap. It doesn't matter what he was saying. I mean, fuck it.
It doesn't matter. Even if I went first and everything I said was garbage, but my last line irritated you enough to take a swing, you lost.
Of course, that's a given.
Okay, I just want. So no bodyguards needed.
Not at all. I'll leave mine at home again.
All right.
Our viewer count would definitely go up if the title was Live Rap Battles.
For sure. I mean, you get a couple guys in here, and the issue is I don't know this guy, so everything I say, it can only be superficial about him. Well, unless he goes first, then I can maybe rip.
Well, we're gonna start with pamphlets.
Now,
about me pamphlets.
About me pamphlets. Dude, that's so crazy.
No. Fucking. Here's what we'll do. We'll have you guys meet like an hour beforehand, get to know each other. And again, this isn't going to be a diss rap. This is going to be a rap.
Right.
Who's got
just
the better?
On the mic.
Yeah. Who's got the better composition?
The one thing that I think separates me is even though my drive to win is high, I can take a loss really well. So even if we get in here and let's say I blank and just crash, it's just no good.
That is very powerful.
Like beginning of 8 Mile.
I will leave knowing that I'll never let it happen again.
Good. All right.
It's a one-time thing. I've not lost a rap battle yet.
Well, we're going to work out the finer details after this episode. We're all going to have a little sit down.
Get the contract.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm getting signed by False Graves. I was thinking about a line the other day. I don't know. I don't remember if I got it to rhyme or not, but the idea was going to be that I'm not going to get signed because they're going to write ouch on it and drop an anvil on my head. That's kind of the idea I was playing around with. Some
going acne on asses.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. I think it's fun whenever how like Eminem in some of his songs he takes on different accents. Like he'll do like the dude from South Park. That guy. I can do that too. I can like, do different accents and rap that way too. And I think that if you pick a good beat and you can make it work, it just adds more flavor. I like although someone that's more creative than just getting on a mic and saying a few things that rhyme, like hold up in a scat pack, and then that's we don't have a scat pack.
Anytime I got rhymes in the grimes because I'm so dirty. Like it's just it's like, okay, well this is more like speaking poetry at this point. This is some Dr. Seuss shit. But
hard. Bars.
You know what? Dr. Seuss was an OG. He beat it. He beat his wife. He cheated on her, and he made rhymes. He was the original.
I'm not gonna lie though, like you're right, because like his friend went, you cannot make a book with less than 100 words, and he went, watch me.
He was. That's actually who I look up to. That's some people idolize. Eminem, 50 Cent, maybe Future for the newer generations out there. Me, Dr. Seuss, dude. That's where I got all. That's where I learned. That's where I started.
He only prescribed 2 things: bars and hands.
Absolutely.
His whole career.
His ability to make up random words and get you to purchase them. I can't do. I can't just hop on a mic and just say Shadley-O, and then people be like, yeah, that's it, that's the next thing. He could just, a Willy Whopper? What is that? What's a Willy Whopper, man?
He grabbed his schlonglegookus.
and that's a real Dr. Seuss term right there.
He went full Benjamin on that shit, man. Oh, God.
I feel like if any of us would be able to channel Dr. Seuss, it'd be you. I feel like the energy Dr. Seuss had, you could channel into.
Well, I mean, I'm on acid right now.
Look at the glasses.
Probably.
You would be formidable.
Oh, God, if I had any sort of rhythm in my body, I'd be unstoppable.
I find it so crazy to, like, whenever I talk to people, and, like, if I have, like, a group of people in the room with me when I'm freestyling, and I'm like, yo, spit a bar. And they'll say, no, I can't freestyle. I try to explain to them that they can. Mm-hmm. I think everybody can freestyle. I think that they tell themselves they can't freestyle, and so they don't. But I
believe that
everybody can. I don't see why people can't. They say, I don't know how you do what you do. I'm talking, but making sure the last word rhymes.
Well, the trick is you can start with a little bit of gibberish and get the flow down.
True.
And then
like
you can work it in. You can work in the technicalities later.
Yeah, right. like a bar like Exodia, my knowledge forbidden. I keep my intelligence tucked away, hidden.
That wasn't bad.
It was tough. It was too tough. Double F. Come on.
So we're getting close to wrap up time.
Oh shit! Now I thought it was next.
It went so quick this time. We got anything to cover before we go?
I kind of want to. I'm not going to say help, but some insight. I've struggled with my name, my rap name, for quite some time. I have a few names that I've floated around, but I don't feel like I can enter the industry until I'm solid on my name.
Yeah, dude, I agree. I understand that. Chat, if you're listening, and I see those, we got some viewers. Let us know what name. What's the best name? Young Freddy has been around since the beginning. That was first, and I like Young Freddy. I will say that
it's the producer tag that came from Young Freddy. It was powerful, and I really enjoyed it. I think that as an alter ego, sort of Frickalicious being a thing, I like that. But at this point, I haven't had the chance to explore all of the nuances of Frickalicious. I've been Young Freddy because I'm in the studio, I'm working, and that's the producer side of me. Yeah. And the freestyle version of me, I feel like that's more what Frickalicious is. It's untamed and uncut.
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe. Well, a lot of rappers, they expound on their existing name. Yeah. Lil Wayne, Weezy,
50,
right?
Kanye, Yeezy.
I'm just afraid that whenever I turn like 30 or something, they're just gonna start calling me Freddy, and I don't want that.
Oh, dude, what about like?
Well, it's like Young Thug still gets called. Well, I guess he goes. There's Thugga. There's.
Well, the difference.
But he's like
me and
mid-30s.
Is if you take away Young, he's just Thug, and that's still tough.
Yeah, that's true.
Still tough.
Man, I think like something like Crunchy would hit you hard because like you're so damn tasty.
God no.
Like Nestle, these bars I'm crunching. Shout out to the OG.
Nah.
Young Freddy gives you that sort of social proof that a lot of rap names have, like Lil, Young, Big. Like these are the prefaces.
At one point,
you work with.
Didn't want that. I wanted to be so original that I didn't like. I was not comparable to any other name. That's really how I felt initially.
Yeah.
But then, whenever Young Freddy was introduced, I loved it. I really liked it because it is who I am. It really that's the truest name I could have.
Yeah. I know the name I'm picking if I decide to fully pursue the rap career, which is still on the table. It's AK Baby Do.
For sure, because that's so original. That's
the name.
That's great. Furman? What you got?
I'm sticking with Furman.
Now I will say,
You need to have like a ferret wrapped around, like a really not a ferret,
just like fucking
a weasel or something, just wrapped around your neck. With like a big fur coat too, man.
Well, I mean, like I would have went with Eddie Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, but it was already fucking taken.
Dude. One thing I do like, I was afraid that like Frickalicious might be a thing already or something. So I've typed it into multiple games that I've tried playing to see if I can use it as a tag.
Good.
It never gets used.
What about Young Freddy?
I haven't tried that.
We
should.
Oh, one question. Quick question. As someone who's as Casper as me, how does one obtain a title of Lil or Young?
Well,
being young helps.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but
and a lot of the Lil rappers are actually Lil.
True. That is true. If you put me in the only rapper
Lil Wayne's like 5'5".
Yeah, he's so small. Man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I can only think of one rapper taller than me for 100%, and that's
Wiz
Snoop
Khalifa.
Dogg.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, I don't know how tall Wiz Khalifa.
He's
I know
like
Snoop Dogg is like
6'3".
6'6". Well, I'm taller than Wiz Khalifa then, but Snoop Dogg has got me. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Shit.
Ridiculous.
I'd never pinned him to be that tall.
Well, I mean, I figured he was tall when I started looking up to him. But we've been doing this show like super light right now. Let me go ahead and bring you guys down with douchebag of the week.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody, let's all gather around the campfire. Uncle Furman's got a story for you. A couple of years back, there was a lady that was in Florida, right? We've all heard of her. She got off on some heinous charges, and I'm gonna see if you guys
killing her own daughter.
Oh yes,
Casey something.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
Guess who just started a fucking TikTok? Got
Yeah,
82,000 followers.
Well, she's heading up the LGBTQ support, right?
Oh, get fucked, dude.
She's a freedom fighter.
Oh,
82,000 is crazy, but it's I think like 1% of the population is what 75 million. I think is the right number, or maybe 75,000. So it's like not a huge portion of us are backing her, but it's still too many.
Yeah,
One
like
was too many.
yeah. If you're a dirtbag where you kill your own fucking kid and then blame it on someone that's non-existent, then blame it on your dad, and then also get caught fucking the detective, marry the detective that headed up the investigation, that's. I mean, I'm not being an asshole here, am I? But this is on the marker. Douchebag of the week.
This will be that we can do this for the final topic. This is a huge grievance of mine that ties into this, because there's times we talk about controversial things, yada yada.
Big boobs,
so we
small
play
boobs.
into it a little bit for entertainment purposes, but it's this: the best thing you can do for the bad people out there, for the degenerates, for the evil people outside of like a court of law, ignore them. Like anything that you don't like, you shouldn't give attention to. Like the fact that this bitch has 82,000 followers, and I know 80% of that's fucking hate followers, is retarded. You are stupid if you follow somebody you actually don't like. You're dumb. You're actually dumb. You're giving attention to a problem. You know how problems multiply? You give them attention.
Oh yeah, dude. It's just like when the Beatles, when they went on tour over Britain and they were doing their thing over the radio. This guy said, well, what's it like to be the most popular band in the world? I think we're more popular than Jesus.
Yeah.
They started buying up their albums and burning all their shit in the streets. And they asked him again when they came to America, like, what's it like being the most hated band in America? Well, we're the most profitable. They keep buying us shit.
Yeah. Attention is a form of power, and if you give attention to things that you dislike or people you dislike, you're on the wrong end of the stick. Period. And people do it all the time, especially women. Women love to look at bitches they hate and talk about it.
True.
You know how much more fucking power they're getting? Like, attention is power. The best thing you can do is ignore a bitch. Best thing you can do.
And they make it really, really difficult.
Oh my God.
It's really a struggle.
Look at me. I'm poking this old person in the eye. Look at me. I'm punching a baby. Oh, God damn it.
Like, I consider the sanctity of my mind, like, sacred. And if an enemy enters into there, I get them out. I don't keep them in that. I don't keep them.
Especially if you don't put them in feed you look at every day.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
every day you're
I
just
don't
adding
do
on.
that.
Oh, it's just so hard not
But
to
the whole
fucking-
world is caught up in that shit now. We're all in that. Like, oh,
Yeah, like JoJo Siwa, like she turned everybody hating on her into a career.
yeah. If you want to solve the problem of all these fucking shit ass influencers, just stop giving them attention, man.
Would you equate that then to like would you take that and apply it to the Kendrick Drake beef? Kendrick airing out all of Drake's.
I like Kendrick and I like Drake. So are you saying like in relation to those two are an outsider?
Let's say that, you know, all of the allegations towards Drake were 100% true, right? That's how it was being framed. It's giving him attention. His name, people that may have not known of Drake, which would be strange.
Yeah.
People that didn't know Drake, now they know Drake.
Well, I
Maybe
do
they're
think
like, I don't really care about all that stuff. His music's kind of cool, and now he's kind of put them on the Drake path.
So here's my take on that. I do think Drake did get dealt a genuine blow. I know he got more talked about in the meantime, but I think he probably did lose a little of his longevity because he was known as the artist that can't be touched. Like he won all his past beefs. He did.
Right.
And Kendrick just walked in the middle of there and just.
And I argue that's different in the sense that it's active engagement with an opponent. Like they were actively engaging. That's being able to do something about it. I'm talking about you hate a bitch or you hate, you know, a dude or a coworker, and you're not going to do anything to them. You've got no power to do anything to them. But you just scroll through Facebook, you see them at a family cookout, and you're like, fuck that bitch.
Oh
like,
God, I fucking
jokes on those ribs.
like,
fucking
I'm saying,
Sheila.
God
damn.
If it's not in your power to do something to the person or to actually compete, then you should ignore them. I'm not saying you should ignore an opponent if it's in real time and you're engaged. I would say that's different.
Yeah, but
because
like
Kendrick's like, I'm going to take this into my own hands and do something about it, and he did.
Well, see, like there was diss tracks put in between here. Like if you look at the anthology of this wasn't just like a one and done. Oh, bit bop boom. This was. There was like diss tracks. Kendrick took samples of his mom and like remixed them, like talked to his family directly.
It's not superficial whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
Look, Kendrick dropped like how fast
So
after
fast.
Drake? I mean, there was some serious planning.
Yeah, it was like 9:09 in the morning in the city where Drake slept. It was like this is about the time this motherfucker wakes up.
It's so crazy because you know they dropped. Kendrick dropped right afterwards, and all the people in the studio with Drake were like, "Yeah, man, this is a hit. This is a banger."
Yeah.
Some dude in the background, you guys are gonna want to take a look at this. It's just like,
Hey, Drake, have you heard?
what out of all of the songs from that anthology, which one would you say was just the best?
Well, my issue with giving a good take here is I've heard them all, but unfortunately, I've only heard one a million times now. Not Like Us, and so I don't even remember the other ones all too well. Like I don't think Not Like Us was the best one. I can tell you that. I remember talking about it when it came out and going, I think this other one was a Kendrick one.
Euphoria.
Is that the one where he talks directly to his family?
No,
like,
that's Meet the Grams.
Now that one
was also good.
That one was just straight like.
Well, you listen to Euphoria and that aggression. You listen to Like That, which Like That was really good also. That was the starting point right there. Both those were really good. But whenever Meet the Grams came on, you didn't know what you were going to get. And the moment the beat came on, you just knew it was going to get really dark and nasty. And it was great. I love a little bit of hatred at 5 in the morning. You know,
like, BBL Drizzy was one of my favorites.
Yes, I actually wrote a song. I was going to submit it.
It's free use.
Exactly. Yes.
So you could use it.
Yes. The line I was going to go with, I was going to say, Drizzy Drake, pump the brakes. The dust unsettled. You're in the wake. Drake done popped off like a 30K. He's killed the beef. Black Death, bubonic plague. And like I was really into it. I was sitting there. I was like kind of glazing Kendrick, I guess. But the BBL Drizzy beat was just ethereal.
But yeah, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, if you're a Drake fan or a Kendrick fan, and you follow, you're a Kendrick fan and you follow Drake. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. Your problem. Don't follow Drake. You don't like him. Why the fuck are you following Drake if you're like, yeah, Kendrick, That's my dude. He's killing Drake. Fuck Drake.
Well, I mean, right now, we're all waiting. We're all waiting for the response.
There isn't a
There's
response.
not. He's done.
Drake gave up. He genuinely gave up.
Yeah, the problem is now, even if he were to craft like a master song with Jesus Christ as the producer,
It's too long. Kendrick already had the victory lap. You can't.
If he really wanted to maybe get the public to
Kendrick. I mean,
Approval.
Drake has to start a whole new beef.
for sure, but he needs to make sure the song is in A minor. That's one that has to happen.
Yeah.
He needs to play into it, otherwise he's gonna fight the current.
Yeah.
It's not what he needs to do. And I want to put this out there because I know a few people like this. If you or a loved one has listened to a Drake song and has felt the urge to explore the forbidden fruit, so to speak, we have a hotline you can call, Aubrey Anonymous. And if it's that bad and you're starting to get online and send promiscuous texts, just call. We've got you. Free, no toll.
We can actually deliver the wood chipper to your house rent free. I will personally take the money blow for that one, and I've got nothing. I will work hard to pay off that.
Absolutely. We will send.
Well, thank you for that, Furman.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
let's take them off the streets and turn them into meat.
So, yeah, I think that's about it, guys.
All right.
Take them off the streets, turn them into meat. Be in the light.
Remember, stay positive, test negative, motherfuckers.